everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night, and of course we bring you the very best of what's happening in the world of club rugby, in and around the world of Cape Town, Western Province club rugby action. We went out over the weekend to check out Collegians up against Violets. That was a Chucker Road. What a game. But we'll tell you more about that a little bit later in the show. Let's start on my far right with my guest this evening, Jerome Parvater. Welcome back, Cape Rugby TV.
Ja, JP, good to be back. Just a little bit cold out there, but it's good to be back.
Maar ek sien jy het self lekker koffie gebring, né? Daai Kenia ding het nou natuurlik afgevryf.
Ja, JP, het is altijd lekker om een beetje vars koffie te drinken. En als je in toe komt, dan krijg je altijd lekker koffie.
Jy lieg nou, meneer. Daai poeier koffie. Danny Jones, the head of amateur rugby at Western Province. Hello, Mr. Jones. Nice to have you back.
Goeienaand JP, goeienaand kijker. Het is lekker om hier terug te wees.
Lekker. And of course, Donnie Isaacs from Kales River. Nice to have you back here, Donnie.
JP, good evening, and good evening to our viewers and our listeners on the podcast. Nice to be back.
Yeah, of course, we do the audio version of the podcast. That goes out weekly on the Thursday straight after the show. So those of you that don't get a chance to watch the show and perhaps are on a train, a bus, a taxi, wherever you are, you can catch it on SoundCloud podcast. We share that through to Twitter and on Facebook as well. Let's take a look now at the results in Super League A before we get to Super League B. And it was, of course, a win for False Bay, 48 points to 7 over Villages. Belhar going down to Derby's, 46-14. And Hamilton's a big win for them over St. George's, 87 points to 12, while Primrose pulled one off over Solarians, 41-25. SK Warmers beating Tygerberg 19 points to 8. Let's look at some of those results. Jerome, 48-7 for False Bay. Villagers said that they managed to hold them for a little bit, and that apparently they won the second half 5-7.
yeah, definitely. It's not a good result for False Bay, JP, for Villagers. And they've been battling with defense this year because there's a lot of tries. I think in the 7 games they've already got something like 27 tries against them. Which
yeah, but still, I mean, False Bay is a good side this year, and Villagers did beat St. George's last week by 1 point. So I mean, Villagers is hanging in there for a team that has come up from Super League B.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely, JP. But
not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. If you look at the scores, if they play sort of the established teams in Super League A, all these scores are quite high, and that's why I say they really have to have a look at their defense, because there's something wrong with all that high scores against them.
Yeah, I suppose so. Defense wins games, huh? Yeah. Anyway, Durbell 46-14 over Belhar. Danny, a good result for Durbell. They just continue to show their strength.
Well, you know, Durbell is the #1 team in the country.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised with the score, because I thought Belhar is a very good team. They're very competitive, and the score should have been far closer. So maybe Belhar doesn't play well in the rain, but well done to Durbell.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Belhar will come back.
Well, I must tell you something right now. I think Violets thinks they're the #1 team in the country after beating Collegians on Saturday. What a derby. All right, the other massive score then, and I tell you, St. George's must be feeling a little bit heartbroken again. 87 points to 12 win for Hammies over St. George's. Donnie, Hamilton's obviously feeling very comfortable at the moment. They're having some good wins there, and but St. George's, the boys must still mentally be having a bit of a tough time.
JP, I think so. You know, Super League A is a different ball game, and we spoke about this week in and week out. And I think Hamilton's for St. George's this week was maybe just a bridge too far.
Just a bridge too far.
It's Super League A is very tough.
Yeah, but you know, they're going to have to find a way to pull a rabbit out of a hat, so to speak. Primrose, of course, beating Solarians. I think that was possibly one of the upsets of the weekend. 41 points to 25. Jerome, did you think Solarians was going to go down to Primrose? I mean, Primrose has been blowing a little bit hot and cold this season. To be honest with you, I thought Solarians, you know, they've built up such a big reputation over the last few years.
No, definitely, JP. I also thought that Solarians will take that game, because Primrose is really struggling this year. But it's a good result for them, and I mean, they're obviously busy doing something right now, so it's a good result for them.
Yeah, Primrose, congratulations, good result there. And then, of course, SK Warmers beating Tygerberg. Danny, do you think, I suppose Pitt will be unhappy with that result, but Munib Levy will be very happy if you look at your board members there.
No, look, I have to defend my board members. They are board members of all the clubs, even though they respectively come from Tygerberg and from SK Warmers.
Yeah.
But I need to say that they are board members, and that's the focus. I think it was a good win for SK after losing the previous week. It was a great game, I believe. It was quite tough, but I think that the rain certainly came into play, because SK Warmers, they got a good deck, and that most probably with the rain has helped them.
Yeah.
Tygerberg has been quite surprisingly, in the sense that they won a few big games, and Ricky's doing well there. But as my friend on my left, Tony, said, you know, it's great. Super League A is a great league.
Yeah,
We're very blessed.
Tygerberg will have a bit of a turnaround now. They got 6 home games in a row, I think. I think it's 6. So now the field should be fixed. I think this is it for them now. From here on, it's going to be Donny. It's home games all the way for a long time.
And JP, if you look at the scores in Super League A, generally it was quite big scores. And the scoreline between SK and Tygerberg, it was a close score, 19 points to 8. It's not really a big gap, you know. So it could have been a very tight game.
Yeah, no, absolutely right, folks. But the game that we went to out over the weekend, as I said earlier on, which was probably one of the derby matches that I've seen for a long time, was of course Violets up against Collegians at Chaka Road. And let's catch up now with some of the highlights. Folks, one of the most unbelievable games that we've seen in a long time. The match changed in the last 5 minutes by 1 point. It was Violets up, Collegians up, Violets up, Collegians up, and eventually it was a penalty to Violets right at the end there. Jerome, quite a lot of running rugby there.
Yeah, it's good handling. We see some pop passes, and the guys are keeping the ball alive, which was good. Great skill. Both teams, great attacking teams. And just unfortunately that at the end of the day they have to be a winner.
Now you mentioned defence earlier on. You spoke about the defence, and we've got a nice try-saving tackle here from let's take a look at this clip here quickly, and folks, you can get some idea of just how tough the defence was on the day. Jerome, a little bit of defensive work there from Collegians. Is that what you want to see?
Yeah, JP, you were also mentioning it, defense can win you games, and it's a proven fact. It can win you games, and that's attitude. It was great attitude from a guy. I mean, he basically ran past 2 guys to make that tackle, which was a great try-saving tackle. And the other thing at the end there for Violets did well to sort of milk the penalty in that scrum. I mean, that was the only the only hope for them to win the game, which they've done well. And so heads off to them.
But I must say, it was skills both ways. Let's take a look here at some of the hands and the speed of the Collegians players. You might enjoy this, Jerome. Jerome, I mean, it's important to get that ball out. Get the ball out quickly.
Yeah, definitely, JP. That was not just skills. You could see from the sort of the starter move which they played from the scrums, a nice run around, and then the center drawing pass. That's an excellent display of how you draw your opponent and how you get the ball away. And also they managed to keep the ball through 5 phases to go score the try. So it's sort of, you could see, it was sort of a set play. It was wide, then wide again. But they managed to keep the ball. So that was great rugby there.
Danny, what position did you play when you were playing? Was it 8th man?
8th man and
8th man. Okay, let's just leave it right there. Then I'm going to show you an 8th man clip here. Shabir Baradin from Collegians, of course. Check this out, Danny. You're going to love this as an 8th man. We should show that little clip again one more time. Watch Shabir Baradin is, of course, the captain of Collegians. Little chip kick there. Okay, Danny, I mean, you're a former 8th man and a lock. Do you think that this is the kind of thing that an 8th man should be doing, is chip kicks?
JP is part of the tools you can use to put your side on the attack, and I think it's good to have to have general good skills, handling, kicking, and as that time when we grew up, you needed to be an all-round player. Because if somebody gets ill, or injured in the back line, it's expected of a loose forward to take up the position. And so, yeah, I reckon he fills that kind of space. That good feet, good hands, and that's always a good mark of an 8th man with great turn of speed.
Donnie, I see your head is bouncing up and back
well,
like,
JP,
like a little dog in the back of a Datsun.
I've seen an 8th man drop from the halfway line at Newlands called Zinzanbroek. So yeah, they've got to have skill.
All right, so you're a Zinzanbroek fan?
I'm a hooker.
Okay. All right, I'm not going to ask you what kind
all
of fan
they do, JP, is take the ball up.
Take the ball up, all right. Junaid Khairuddin was, of course, the fly-off in the day, and a little bit later we'll also tell you who our man of the match was. Check out the match-winning kick. Alright folks, there you go. It's been a fair amount of footage there from Collegians and Violets, but nice to show that action. Jerome, 2 derbies like that, when you 2 teams who are so equal, come from the same community, the same history, the same background, and gets like that, and there's a point here and a point here and back and forth like that, can get quite emotional.
Yeah, definitely, and at the end you could see how the supporters of Violets, how happy they were, And I think also on the day was great sportsmanship. I don't think there was any incidents and things like that.
No, it was a great game. There was no
that's
problem.
very good. So that's good, and I mean it's good for rugby, and both sides played good rugby. And at the end, it's unfortunately to see there's a winner, but there must be a winner.
Someone has to win. Well, it could have been a draw.
Yeah.
You know. Right, folks, we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll speak to the losing captains and coaches, as well as, of course, the Evox Advanced Nutrition Man of the Match. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, Cape Rugby TV it is. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, or on Twitter. And just a special thanks to our sponsors, Belleville Glass, Evox Advanced Nutrition, Matfin Money Matters, and of course CTC Sports, who are also our official apparel supplier here on Cape Rugby TV. So when I get rugby jerseys, then CTC Sports can sort you out for, I think, as low as 4,000 Rand for a set of rugby jerseys. And of course, we're happy to say that Umzali Construction Services are also now on board with Cape Rugby TV. We'll introduce you to them a little bit later during the season. Of course, the losing captain and coach of the Collegians Violets game was Shabir Baradin, and of course Armin Arifdin. Right, folks, we're at Chaka Road, and this is exactly what club rugby is about. And I think we haven't seen a derby like this where it goes back and forth in the final dying minutes in a long time. Shabir, incredible game.
Yeah, JP, you know, it's always lekker to play against a colored team, and also, like I'll say in our words, a Muslim team. It's lekker camaraderie. It's always lekker, and the host was excellent today, I promise you.
But it was, I mean, it was incredible how, you know, how equally you were matched, and the game swung in both directions in that last couple of minutes. I mean, what was going through your mind there? Because you had it in the bag.
James, obviously, I thought I had it in the bag. Violets came up with a lot of tactics, and for them it worked today. So whoever gives the tactics is great. It worked for them today, and well done to Violets again.
Team spirit looks high. I was hearing you guys sing after the match there. I mean, Collegians, we had Armin on the show over the week. In fact, he was saying to me on the side of the field here that he can't handle any more of these derbies. His nerves are shot.
JP, I've vomited thrice before I took field today. So, I mean, that's a lot of nerves, man. And
yeah.
I do it for not only this team, not only the community, but for this juniors coming up, for the upcoming juniors. They need to know what it's like. They need to know what it's like.
Man. You're a true leader. You're the kind of guy that we need in club rugby. Oh man, this is exactly why Collegians is what it is today, because of guys like you. So hard luck today, but we know it's going to be good for Cole all the way still.
Thanks JP, man. Thanks Violets. Nice going forward for you, Zowens. Keep it up. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Shabir. There we go. Folks, with me now is Amin, of course, the coach of Collegians. Incredible game. I was just saying to Shabir, it was to the wire. It keeps going like this, 1 point.
Yeah, I think we must cut off those feet. I think it'll be better. You know, but anyway, it was a good game. We always knew that when we came to Violets, they were on a winning streak, 2 games or 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
We've come from losing 4 games. So it's really tough, but well done to Violets. They did it. They played well. They played well.
You've got a great captain in Shabir. The kind of leadership that you've got there and the team spirit amongst the guys, is you build on that?
Definitely we need to win a game or win all our games to stay in the league. So yeah, I think the spirit is going to go on. It'll always be there.
Is this a future rugby player?
Hopefully 2 guys, yeah.
Where's Adam?
Yeah, 2 boys.
Come here.
It'll be great.
All right. I know it was a close call today, but this is typical of what a derby's about. Hard luck. I mean, you guys had it in the bag at the end there. It's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. I think it was the first time at Violets ever won us. But they won us in a good time. It's in the league and when it counts. So, congratulations.
That's good leadership, good spirit. Thanks, Amin. Yeah, folks, we're gonna talk about the camaraderie, the game. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let's first talk to the winning captain and coach, Umar Sali and Khamim Ajam at least, from Violets. They both had a good result and very positive. We'll talk about the camaraderie and the spirit of the game in a sec. An incredible game. It was Collegians up against Violets, of course, at Chaka Road. And with me now is the captain of Violets, Umar Sali. Umar, down to the wire. You guys nearly threw it away in the end, but you brought it back.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually speechless right now. I'm lost for words. The boys, they stuck down to the end. I think they played really well. To do that at the end, I mean, we haven't been in this position before. So, I mean, coming back like that, amazing. That's all I can say.
What was going through your mind there in that last sec? I mean, it was 2 minutes and you were behind 2 minutes to the end of the game. You got the penalty. At that stage, the players were lying all over the field. I think they were looking up at the heavens at the time, hoping that the kick's going to go over. It must have been a tense moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sometimes, watching from the sideline, you think the boys are panicking and in a panic state, but the boys are calm and actually doing what they've been told from the sidelines and during practice. So hard work puts you in a position like this. You're definitely going to be victorious at the end of the day.
Oh, well done. You did take the victory today, and I think you took the bragging rights as well.
Thank you so much, JP.
There we go. Folks, we're of course here at Chaka Road. It was a massive, massive derby today. Violets up against Collegians. With me now, the coach of Violets, Amim Afjam. Amim, an incredible game for you guys. You were down to the wire.
Yeah, JP, when I was 19, at halftime, I thought myself, these guys not going to let me down. I said to them, look, come let us play rugby, man. Come, I talked to the force. I said, you like don't want to play. I mean, the first half, it was just Collegians. And then I had the chairman also to come and say a bit of words. All the coaches were talking and then I said, the captain asked me, Coach, can I speak to my team alone? I said, yes.
You've become now a professional post-match commentator. I can see that. The first few interviews we did, you were very shy. Now you're a real natural. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, JP.
There we go.
To Collegians, I want to say good luck to them for the rest of the season. I hope they pick it up because, one of the old rivals that we played, I don't like to see them going down, you see. And they've been in this league for so many years, so they have to try to lift up their rugby.
Well, I'm sure they are. They've got a great spirit, and Collegians played an incredible game today. Yes, so yes. I think we can all give them credit.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Khabib Jamane there, of course, Umar Sali, the winning captain and coaches at Violets. Danny, I'm going to go straight to you. From a club rugby perspective, you look at the coaches, you look at the captains, they're very happy. You saw the kids there also getting a little bit naughty on the side of the pitch. But I mean, from Western Province rugby point of view, this is the kind of activity you're looking for.
Sorry, JP. Great advert of Western Province rugby, and I want to compliment both clubs for doing justice to our rugby. It was an open game, and well done.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. Of course, the man of the match at Evox Advanced Nutrition, man of the match then was Junaid Gierdin. He kicked that winning penalty at the end of the game, and for that matter, he still scored all of the rest of the points for Violets as well. So 21 points to the fly-off. So he was the deserved Evox Advanced Nutrition man of the match. Let's catch up now with Junaid Gierdin. All right, folks. As usual, we choose a man of the match. Or the winning coach gets to choose a man of the match. And of course, it's Collegians up against Violets today. Junaid Gierdin is your Evox Advanced Nutrition man of the match. Junaid, congratulations. You are today's man of the match. I'm going to shake hands with you. You put all the points on the board today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. As long as the team won at the end of the day. It was a big game for us this week. So I'm happy.
Strong points today. How did it feel playing in the team? Strong points, weak points?
I think as soon as we relaxed and played our game, especially after the first 20 minutes, we were playing a bit fast and we weren't doing anything we practiced. So as soon as we calmed down, things went better.
Was there a little bit of nervous energy going into this game?
Yeah, there definitely was.
And now, just finally, of course, you guys were down. It was down to the last few seconds there, and I think you were down 23, 22 or something like that. And then, of course, you had a penalty in the last 30 seconds of the game. What was going through your mind? Your coach seems confident that he knew you were going to kick that.
Yeah, no, I thought the game was over, actually.
Yeah.
So credit to our front row, our tight five. The big scrum gave us our penalty. So it was good.
Did you know you were going to slot it?
I just tried to do the basics. So hopefully it went over. And it did.
Congratulations, you're the Evox Advanced Nutrition man of the match. Although I must say, with these guns, I'm beginning to wonder if he needs it. Right, folks? Our man of the match. We'll see you guys in a sec. They're, of course, a stalwart of Western Province rugby, and he's playing a little bit further north at the moment. He comes down for Violets games every weekend. Gafoor Lekon. Folks, a player who's, of course, well known in the Western Province rugby circles, and fantastic performance here at Violets today. Gafoor Lukan. Gaf, you must be happy with this result.
Yeah, it was a close game. Playing here at Violets, I see it's become a trend. The last 3 games all won with 1 point, so it's stressful. But you know, a win is a win, and like I told the guys, at the end of the season, these games are going to count, hopefully for ending in the top 3.
I mean, you obviously bring a lot of leadership and experience to this team. How do you bring that across to the boys?
Well, thanks to the guys like Muhammad and Mr. Jam and Nadim McKenzie bringing me in as well. Asking me to basically lead the side, and also the guys buying into that, taking my advice. So basically just guys buying into it, and listening to what I have to say. Obviously I don't have all the answers, but the guys are all willing to learn. So I think that's what helps us.
Well, it's nice to see that you come from club rugby, and of course you've played in all these higher echelons like the big dogs. And then you come back home and you play here, so like we're quite proud of that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Violets. The reason why I joined Violets this year was because for that reason. I watched a few games last year and for the preseason games before I joined. They've got a good team spirit going on there, and I just thought I want to be a part of that. So yeah, that's why I make the drive down from George every weekend. And come and join them, because there's a very nice geest over here. So I'm really enjoying my rugby now coming to the end of it.
And we enjoy watching you. I'm sure there's no end to it, Rubbishman.
Sure, JP, thanks.
Back after a sec. Here we go, Gafoor Lakoon. Lakoon has been, of course, well known in the rugby circuit. Jerome, you coached him for a while, eh?
Yeah, he played Vodacom Cup for us, a few games. And he's also, I mean, he's the strength and conditioning coach of SVD. So yeah. I mean, it's a long drive for him every weekend. He said he's driving down every weekend. But
it kind of goes to show, Danny, how keen the Oaks are to play club rugby.
Definitely. No, Lakoon, he's a good player.
Yeah.
As I said, he played Province under 19 and under 21 too. And surprisingly, he joined Violets because he comes from Primroses, and there's some rivalry between that. But I think the fact that he drives to Cape Town week in, week out says a lot about our history and culture and rugby in Western Province.
But Donnie, just quickly on the movement thing there, we've seen players now moving from club to club and league to league, and it seems to have calmed down. People understand in the club circles that players are moving.
Yes, JP, and I must say, sometimes it does settle down, but I must commend the player from Violets for coming back and ploughing back into the community, because that takes an outstanding player, and well done to him.
Yeah, no, fantastic stuff. Folks, when we come back from the ad break, we'll take a look at the rest of the results in Super League B, and a little bit later, look out for Donnie's Logs. Donnie Isaacs from Kelsriver is going to be doing the logs for us this evening, courtesy of Weinberg Glass. So stay tuned when we get ready for Donnie's Logs. Back in a sec. Right, folks, so Super League B then, let's get straight into it. It was hands and hearts up against Penel Villages, and it was a win for Penel Villages, 30-27. Kelsriver beating Franschhoek United, 53-15. Macassar going down to Brackenfell, 45-21. Rangers going down to Wraithby, 23-10. Violets, as we said, 26-25 over Collegians. And then NNK beating Young People, 60 points to 17. And just a quick comment there from the Brackenfell head coach, Johan Kotzer, who went on to say that Macassar were a tough side with a big pack of forwards, and they had a bit more structure than managed to run them off the park, although their forwards really came to the party. But more than that, we saw on social media comments that the guys from NNK were saying just what a pleasure it was for both teams to be playing against each other. The other match that stood out for me there, and Donnie, I want to bring you into this conversation now. Kelsriver beating Franschhoek United. Franschhoek are a team with a new spirit this year. They are, of course, galvanized as a community at the moment. I know it was 53-15, which looks like a big score on paper, but I understand it was quite a tough game.
JP, it was, but before we start, I think it's long overdue. This is just the jersey that was promised you from the club. Yeah, that's our first team jersey.
Finally we get the Kelsriver jersey.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get back to the game here. 53-15. It couldn't have been an easy game.
JP, it was played earlier, and I think our team, they came out slowly out of the blocks. Franschhoek certainly came out firing, and but gradually the team got into the swing of things, and we managed to pull it through.
And then you brought Snaz into the picture.
In fact, he left the field early with an injury, and we brought in some youngsters from the under 20 side, and they actually pulled the game through. Great talent. It was a good game to watch.
All right, then, Jerome, any standouts for you here? Brackenfell 45-21 over Macassar.
Yeah,
doing well.
that's a great win for Brackenfell. I mean, Macassar is not a side that you go to and take points. So well done to them.
Yeah. Right, folks, as you know, we asked the clubs to bring their jerseys. Kales River's first team sponsor here, Maximus, and of course we know that they're supported by Belleville Glass, and you can see the Belleville Glass logo on the jersey. Donnie, thank you very much for this jersey. We know that Maximus is now going to get a lot of exposure as we find a position somewhere on amongst the jerseys. We were just talking about it, I was talking about it to Danny earlier on about some of the jerseys we've got a little bit older, Danny.
Definitely, JP. I think some of the companies went bang, and yet they're still being displayed here. But hopefully, all the clubs can bring new jerseys. You know?
Look, if you don't have money for branding, then you just make up any decoration you get. I even asked Jerome to bring some of his old rugby jerseys that we could put up. In fact, Danny, if you can also go home, see what your old rugby jerseys you got as well, because we need. It's either that or spray paint.
JP, you know, when I played, it was before the time when sponsors came on board, you know, so you'll see a plain jersey.
A plain jersey, perfect. All right, Donnie, we're looking forward to putting Caleb Boys as a jersey up. So Maximus, Kales River, and of course the guys from Belleville Glass, thank you very much. We're looking forward. Right, folks, remember then, if you are out there and you've got a jersey and you bring it up and you think you might have a chance of securing a sponsor, then do exactly what what Donnie has just done, is bring us your jersey. The jerseys get a chance to rotate it, and if you just look behind me here, you'll see here's Altius Collegians. They brought their, Armin Brink brought that in last week, so a lot of publicity for Altius. And then just next to them, of course, the Elsie Sophia jersey with Freightmore, who have come on board as a sponsor there. So, you know, that's exactly what we're looking for, is the opportunity for clubs to get sponsorship, because we rotate the jerseys. And there, as an example, Altius now, in one foul swoop, have got value out of their sponsorship with Collegians. So does Freightmore at Elsie Sophia, and as I said earlier on, Maximus batteries from Kales River. So there we go. Bring your jerseys if you have half a chance. We wrap them up and we display them and rotate them. Let's look at the results now in Super League C. Goodwood went win over Silverleaf, 27 points to 20. Kraaifontein, 20 points to 0 over Noordlikers. Now, I'm not really sure if that's a result or if that was a cancellation. Blue Jets, 20-15 over Masipumalele. Langa going down to Elsie's, 29-18. Good result for Elsie's. Scottsdene, 41-29. Gerald Brock will be very happy with that result. And then Silvertree, 17-15 over Stelkor, while Strand went 26-14 up over Paarl. Busy Bees, 26-23 over Young Ideas in the City League. Calais beating Progress, 55 points to 0. There's a big win. Hamadia's Police game, again, not sure if that went through. MIT Rangers beating Western Zebras, 15 points to 6. Gardens Tech, 62-0 over Perseverance. And then Watsonia, 35 points to 17. Good win for them. Danny, let me quickly bring you into the picture here. Some big results there. Caledonian Roses beating Progress, 55 points to 0. And then Tech beating Perseverance, 62 points to 0. Now, those are some big results. And I know Jerome will probably comment on the fact that I mean, what do we do here? What do we do to get these teams to up their game a little bit? Is it because I know that the last time we commented about the Silurians Hamilton's game, the under-20s, they lost 195-0. And then we found out afterwards that the under-20s had only fielded 10 teams. Does it concern you in a case like this where you see Calais beating a Progress 55-0, Tech 62-0? Should Progress, Perseverance maybe be coming up with a plan, or do they need a massive sponsor, or what is it?
JP, are you putting me in front of a firing
firing squad?
Because you know I played for Perseverance years ago. You now need to rub my face.
But of course, it was the other day that you were bragging about Perseverance, and we gave you the bragging rights.
The only bragging rights I have is being 125 years old. But be that as it may, it's we are discussing these kinds of big scores. It's not good for the clubs who are losing. But I think it's about looking at the systems in the club. It's about improving coaching, recruiting better players.
And you want more players as well, because the more players you have, then the more coaches can select from.
Absolutely. And so we're hoping that these clubs can improve. I'm a bit surprised at progress because the past month they had some good games. They won some big teams there, and maybe, you know, with the weather, they went into retreat. So,
retreat. All right, let's move into the Southern League round results now. Langa, at least not Langa, Laguna beating Titans 41 points to 3. Peninsula beating Retreat. There you go. Into Retreat 17-15 over Retreat. Richmond Rangers going down to Young Wesley's 53-17. Thistles losing to Rocklands 25-19. Young Brothers going down to Eersterrivier 30 points to 20. In the Northern League, All Saints 27-6 over Blue Stars. A win for Van der Stel over Atlantis. Strand Pioneers beating Delft 5-0. That was a close game. Imikawe beating Whistling Wheels 27-25. And Kyla Moore going down to Blake's 19 points to 8. While in the Paarl League, Peril United going down to Lower Paarl 83 points to 17. And then Vineyards 30-14 over Albions. All right, so folks, those are, of course, your results. Let's take a look now at the Donny's Logs, all right, brought to you by Weinberg Glass. Donny Isaac's going to bring us the logs, and it's interesting now to see who's at the top 5 or 6, depending on how Donny wants to tell us how the logs pan out. And of course, I think also you're going to look a little bit at the bottom 3, because kind of the bottom 3 is important, and the top 3, 4 or 5 is telling us a story now about the logs. Donny, run us through the logs there. Let's take a look. Start off there with Super League, eh?
Right, folks, this was round 8, and starting off with the Super League A, we've got Hamilton, Stellenbosch, UCT, Falsbay, and Tygerberg forming the top 5 in the Super League A. And at the bottom, we've got Silurian, St. George's, and Helderberg. Then moving on to Super League B, we've got Kuilsriver, NNK, Brackenfell Violets, and Uni Milnerton forming the top 5 there. And at the bottom of the Super League B, we've got Macassar, Collegians, and Franschhoek United. Moving on to Super League C, we've got Kraaifontein, Goodwood, Elsies River United, Strand, and Scottsdene Central. That forms the top 5 in the Super League C. And at the bottom, we've got Silver Tree, Stellenbosch Coronations, and Noordlikers forming the bottom 3 over there. Moving on to the City League, we've got Hamadias, Busy Bees, Manenberg Rangers, and Caledonian Roses forming the top 4. And then the bottom 3 in that league is Western Zebras, Temperance Cities, and Perseverance in that league. Moving on to the Southern League, we've got East River, Rocklands, Peninsula, and Laguna forming your top 4 over there. And your bottom 3 will be Titans, Bishop Blavers, and Richmond Rangers. Moving on to the Northern League, we've got Van der Stel, Calmore, Blakes, and All Saints forming your top 4 in the Northern League. And at the bottom of that competition, we've got Khayelitsha, Strand Pioneers, and Delft forming the bottom 3. Moving then on to the Paarl League, we've got Vineyards, Lower Paarl, Ellendale, and Young Standard setting the pace in the Paarl League. And at the bottom, we've got Albions, Windmill United, and Peril United forming the bottom 3 in the Paarl League.
And those, of course, your logs brought to you by Donny Isaacs from Kuilsriver. Kindly supported by Weinberg Glass. Donny, you're natural, my man. You're natural. I remember when I had to read every single name, every league for 10 leagues. It was Super League A, Super League B, Premier League A, Premier League B, then Division 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then it was the Paarl League, and then it was the Farm League or the Simonium region. It was rather crazy. But looking at the logs like that, Donny, is there anything that jump out for you as a story?
JP, I had a look at it, and what is, I think, a bit of a concern is the bottom teams, they're all in with little points difference. You know? So that's a concern, because there's going to be a playoff game at some stage, especially if you're looking at A, B, and C. And those teams would really want to have a look at their position and try and strengthen that on the log, because it could probably mean, or possibly mean, relegation.
Danny, do you think it's too early to worry about promotion relegation? Or is it never too early?
No, it's never too early, but I do think that
still a long way to go.
We still have 9 matches to go in some cases, and in others 6. But I think it's too early, because they can turn it around, especially now that the clubs will hibernate for about 5 weeks. And they come back, and then they could be rejuvenated. And
of course, like some of the clubs have only just really started, like Durbanville and Hamilton, for example. They've only, I think, played 2 or 3 games. Yeah. So it's really early days for them. So if we were to look at Super League A, you could hardly make a call right now.
No, I think Super League A, it's certainly the Bay is doing well. They're unbeaten. Hammies is unbeaten, with UCT and Marties having both lost a game. But I do think at Durbell, of course, who's played 1 or 2 games less, the league is between those 5. Yeah, certainly.
Maybe I'm just losing track in terms of how much rugby we've actually played this season already. Quite a lot of rugby. All right, folks, so we'll take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the fixtures coming up this weekend. Right, folks, let's take a quick look at the fixtures then over the this coming weekend, starting off on Friday, at least on Friday. So on Friday we've got Brackenfell up against Violets and NNK. That's in Super League B. Meanwhile, on Saturday in Super League A, it's Helderberg and Hamilton's, Tigerberg take on Durbel, Primrose and Belhar, Solarios take on SK Warmers. And then back to Super League B, Collegians, Belleville, Franschhoek and Macassar, Hamlets, Young People's, Hands and Arts and Kales River, Peniel Villages take on Union Mill. And then Franschhoek sent us a nice weekend poster, so always great to see these posters coming in from the guys from Franschhoek. And there's the poster, Franschhoek up against Macassar. They're playing at the Groenendaal Rugby Field this Saturday. Under 20 start at 12:15. That's for the third teams also at just after 1, and the seconds at 2:15. And the first team, as with the rest of the clubs that are playing on Saturday, kicks off at 3:30. So thanks to the guys from Franschhoek once again for sending that poster. We will share it on Facebook to make sure the rest of the community also understand what the fixtures are for your game. So folks, remember, if you are out there and you want to share it, we'll air it. Set those posters in. And then of course there's a poster here from Milnerton. Here we go. Milnerton are up against Peniel Villages, and Milnerton could perhaps do with a little bit more text on the poster, but it's a beautiful ball. It's a beautiful ball, and no, well done, guys. Let's look at the City League fixtures now. Hammerdeers up against Busy Bees. MIT Rangers take on Watsonia. Police against Caledonia Roses. Tech against Progress. Temperance against Perseverance. Western Zebras are up against Young Ideas. And then in Southern League is Peninsula up against Lagunya. Retreat and Richmond Rangers. Rocklands and Bishop Labour's Titans, and Thistle's Young Wesley's Young Brothers. In the Northern Leagues, Blake's up against Emikawi, Blue Stars Atlantis, Strand Pioneers, All Saints, Thunderstel, Kylamore, Whistling Wills and Kyalicha. Let's quickly just take a look at the fixtures in Super League C. And then, of course, it's Elsies are up against Strand, Noordlickers and Goodwood, Paarl, Silvertree, Silverleaf, Scottsdene and Stelkor up against Blue Jets. And don't forget the Friday night games, Kraaifontein Langa, Young Stars and Strand United. In the Power League, we've got Albions, who are, of course, up against River Stones. And then it's Peril United and Paarl Rangers, Simonium and Violets, Vineyards, Allendale, Vintmill United and Lower Paarl. Young Standards take on Young Gardens. Right, folks, before we move on to any of the other activities, let's quickly, in fact, we're starting to run a little bit tight on time here. The Western Province Under-18 Craven Week team has now been announced. That's, of course, taking place at Paul Roos Gymnasium from the 13th to the 18th of July. Danny, you guys got trials. It's been a couple of weeks building up now. You finally announced the team. Just tell us a little bit about the progress leading up to the selection of the team, and what can folks expect come the 13th and 18th of July.
JP, the trial started on the 25th of April. And we had 3 sets of trials, culminating a match against Poland, or 3 under-18 matches against Poland, and 2 under-16 matches last week and Wednesday. The team was obviously sent to the schools on Tuesday. Yeah. And we're quite happy with the selections. 1 or 2 players just dropped out. It was quite unfortunate for them.
What makes you happy with the selections?
Well, JP, I think the Cravenwick team, all 3 our teams, the 2 under-18 teams and the under-16 team, has been selected on a 50-50 basis. Yeah. By default, and merit was there. The players of colour, I mean, we don't need to look for players of colour. Those guys just play, and they.
Yeah, you got some good quality guys there.
Absolutely.
How do you see? Do you see some of these youngsters coming through that they're going to end up in Jerome's hands? That they're going to start coming through the Western Province ranks in a year or 2?
We'll have a number in Jerome's hands, and from there they'll move off, certainly into the age groups, under 19s, under 21, and I'm convinced there'll be at least 3 or 4 players that will actually represent Western Province at Currie Cup level.
Now, for the folks that don't know much about the Craven Week, this is the 13th to the 18th. It's a 5-day tournament happening at Paul Roos. This is, of course, the Western Province Under-18 Craven Week team. Yeah. And you play against all the other provinces.
You play against the other Saru provinces, that's right.
Yeah.
The first game is obviously on Monday, and we play against the Bulls Under-18 team at 3:30. That's to open the Craven Week tournament. It's quite a tough game, but I do believe we do have the material to beat them.
Yeah.
And we have to. It's a typical North-South derby. We would like to have played them later in the week, but we have been given this game, and I'm sure that the coaches and the players are looking forward to do well and to do Western Province proud.
Let's quickly take a look at some of the teams, or at least some of the players. And of course, Elmo Wolfart is the coach there. Ashwin Adams, MZ David, Ruben de Villiers, Shane Farmer, Tyreek February, Johan Grobler, Vickers Groenewald, Leo Kruger, Nico Leonard, George Lawrence, Salman Murat, Ryan Miller, Kanye Nkusani, Manuel Rusk, Carlo Sardi, Brandon Salomo, Cornel Smith, Ernst van Ryen is your captain, Joshua Vermeulen, Johan Visser, Damian Willemse, and Jandre Willemse. Now, I believe Salman Murat is one of the members of the famous Murat family. Jerome, is that right?
Yeah, definitely. He's.
Are we looking at another Murat Springbok here?
Yeah. I mean, his father played, his father's brothers played. So yeah, he's also quite. He's a big boy.
But the Murat family is a big buggers, eh?
Yeah, no, they're big, and that's why I say he's also one of
absolutely, yes.
Also one of the bigger boys. So and he's you can see he play lock.
He's a lock.
Yeah, he's aggressive, and he's. I mean, obviously, as Doc Craven said, always said that it's in your genes. So it's really in his genes.
Yeah, no, well, that's fantastic stuff. And you've had a chance to glance through these guys. You must be excited about the future.
Yeah, I know a lot of these guys because I've been following them. Some of them come from under 13, and under 16, and they've gone the path.
Is there, Danny? Is there an under 13 competition coming up?
There's under 13 Craven Week, and that takes place the first week of the holidays, the June holidays, and that's in Witrifuur. And then we have an under 16 Grand Como Week in Oudtshoorn, as well as under 18 Academy Week in Vanderbilt Park.
Do you follow the same process for those tournaments as you did with the under 18s? Is there trials? How does that work?
What we do, JP, when we have the under 18 trials, we also have the under 16 trials, because many of the players come from various schools, so it's easy for them with transport. You know, the under 16s and the under 18s together coming down to trial. So yes, we do have
travel together.
They travel together. So we do have a very comprehensive trial system program. Selectors have been nominated both from the union side as well as the school side, and we believe the process is above reproach. And those players will do justice.
Lekker. So it sounds like the system is working sort of from the juniors through, and of course you've got scouts out there inviting people, and you've got a lot of coaches sessions, so the coaches need to know how to talk to their kids to bring them to the trials and are aware of the process.
Definitely. We're also blessed in that we have Jerome and Wilfred from the amateur performance, that's right, involved, as well as the schools. And Jerome and Wilfred, obviously, they start to highlight these kids from an under 15. You know, we have an under 15 program. So yeah, we're quite happy with the work that the two of them has done, and we wish all the teams well.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Bad luck to me. We're taking a look at Super Brew. It's been going south for me. All right, but our Cape Rugby TV Super Brew pool is having a lot of fun as they make their Super 15 selections. And what a win it was for the Stormers over the Cheetahs and Newlands over the weekend. Fantastic stuff. Nice to see the Stormers walk away with such a big victory as they head towards a possible home semi-final. Let's take a look at our top 10 in the Cape Rugby TV Super Brew pool. And it's, of course, Lukey Boy still on the top there. Mansell, Gerard, Tony George, Wilding Bat, Chris Lemack, Rocky, Eddie Titus, Mr. C, and Andrew Wade Smith. Those are your top 10 in your Cape Rugby TV Super Brew pool. Congratulations, guys. You certainly did a lot better than I did. Jerome Parvata, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to catch you on the show soon and do some statistics for us.
Yeah, thanks, JP. It's good to be back, and hope to see you also soon.
Lekker. Danny Jones, it was a pleasure having you here as always, and we look forward to having you back on the show more often. And of course, a couple of members from Western Province Rugby to tell about what's happening in the world of your different departments at the union.
Yes, JP, it's good to be back, and the year's still long, and we'll see each other more than once.
Lekker. And of course, Donnie Isaacs, Donnie's log man. Do you enjoy doing Donnie's logs?
Fantastic, thanks, JP. It's great being here, and I think it's great chatting about Western Province Club Rugby. It's fantastic place to play rugby. So yeah, glad to be here.
There we go, folks. And just once again, a big thanks to our suppliers and sponsors who are supporting Cape Rugby TV. Belleville Glass, of course, a supporter of Cape Rugby TV. CTC Sports, remember, you can, there you can see it on my screen right now behind me. CTC Sports, of course, the official apparel supplier to Cape Rugby TV. And if you want your rugby jerseys or boots or socks or tracksuits or whatever it is you need, CTC Sports is your company of choice. Of course, Matfin Money Matters and Evox Advanced Nutrition, the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Of course, sponsored rates for all club rugby players. Right, folks, that is a wrap from us. We hope you have a fantastic rugby weekend. Please think about the folks that are out there in this bitter cold. If you have a chance to spare a blanket, any old clothes, make sure that you donate them. For the rest, we trust that you have a fantastic rugby weekend. See you next week. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.